People think that Royal Marine Commandos eat perfectly clean, with a balanced diet, with loads of protein, but that could not be further from the truth. This is what I actually ate as a Royal Marine, whilst in training, whilst on deployment, and whilst at unit. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and that bell button, because I've got loads more videos dedicated to the Royal Marines, which you'll probably like. Let's get into this. So just a bit of context for the civilians out there. Royal Marines diet is based around performance, not necessarily for aesthetics, and they actually burn a hell of a lot of calories during their daily task, especially in training, or especially if they're deployed. So the first phase that I'm actually going to speak about is the training. That is the phase that most people actually want to know about, and actually want to know what the recruits are eating and what is required, what fuel is required to become a Royal Marine Commando. As I've said, it's more calories over macros, especially in training, because of the huge calorie expenditure that is happening. As general, the recruits have 4 square meals a day. They have the breakfast as normal, they have the lunch as normal, dinner as normal, then they have a 4th meal, which is often called niners, because it's at 9 o'clock at night. So you have a whole nother meal at 9 o'clock at night after your 3 other meals. And all these meals are based out of the galley. A galley is almost like a school dinner hall, if you like, where you go in and there's a queue to get your hot food on a plate. You go sit down and you basically normally waft it down as fast as possible, because you've got so much on during the day, or your training team has probably given you like -5 minutes to actually get down to the galley, eat your food, get back, clean the block, clean your bed, clean everything else, do some press ups, go for a run, go on exercise, come back, and you've meant to have eaten your food in that time also. Got it! So what type of foods do we actually get at the galley? It's mainly carb-based stuff. If you've heard the terminology chips and beans make Marines, it's not far from the truth, because it's super carb heavy foods. The protein is definitely not the priority in training. It's loads of chips, loads of pastas, lasagnas, rice dishes, and just loads of carbs basically. There is some vegetable option obviously as well, but most of it is carb based stuff. There's going to be some protein in there, but not a substantial amount. I remember many times having pasta on my plate, and there's always bread at the end of the line, basically, where you can get bread and just like make sandwiches. And I remember just having like pasta sandwiches, or like spaghetti bolognese sandwiches, and just trying to get as many calories in as possible, because of how many calories you actually burn. Bear in mind, in the last video that I just done, I spoke about when you come out of training, how skinny you are. So that shows, no matter how many calories that you're actually eating, you're still burning that many and probably pushing yourself into a calorie deficit. Also, when I was on an exercising training, this is a good one for you. Basically, we had loads of loaves of bread left over whilst we was on this exercise, and the training team got us out, got us into 2 teams, split the troop in half, right? And we basically had a bread eating competition.
What?
Because of all these loaves of bread, I can't remember how many exactly it was, but we basically seen which side of the troop could have eaten the amount of bread the fastest. And there's like just speed eating pieces of bread. Must have like speed ate, I don't know, like 5 or 6 pieces of bread. This is like after our normal meals as well. I know it doesn't sound that difficult, but you try speed eating loaves of bread after you've already eaten, and I can guarantee you that'll be a memory that sticks with you. So what actually happens after you passed out of training, when you don't actually need as many calories as you would do when you're actually in training? Well, there's 2 options. You either can continue going to the galley. You now get a discounted rate for food. You now have to pay for your food, but it's discounted, and it's actually more high quality than the recruits get. So you might get like slightly better options, a bit more thoughtful food, not just mass produced chips and beans, for example. You still get that option as well. However, by any means, under my experience, it is nothing luxury whatsoever. It is still extremely cheap, extremely processed, and very little amounts of protein, not optimal for muscle. Therefore, the second option, which most people actually opt for, is cooking for yourself. A lot of lads opt to either cook in the block, where there's like cookers, or people will get George Foreman's, because they're super easy. You can just plug them in anywhere. You can take them on courses. You can cook steaks. A lot of lads are obviously gym orientated in one way or another. Might not necessarily be bodybuilding, but they obviously know that protein and stuff is a valuable source. Therefore, they'll cook for themselves. Yes, it might be a little bit more expensive than eating in the galley, but it's your body at the end of the day. You should probably look after it as much as you can. The third phase that I'm actually going to speak about is deployment. What happens when you're actually on the ground, and what are you eating then? Well, you're obviously going to be living off of mainly ration packs, unless you're bringing some extra food in yourself, but that also comes with the extra weight. So if you ever take any extra food in with you, you're going to be obviously adding weight to what you're carrying. As a standard, you're going to be living off of ration packs. Ration packs are not the nicest. I can guarantee they've probably improved over the years, but from my experience, living off of ration packs is still not the nicest. If you've got like a packet of food that lasts like 5 years, it's probably not going to be the best for you. It is again literally just going to be calories to fuel your body whilst you're on that exercise. It's not going to be for taste, it's not necessarily going to be for protein, it's just going to be purely for calories. High sugar, designed for survival, not health. If you haven't seen my video, which I actually break down exactly what's in a ration pack and why everything's in the ration pack and what it all tastes like, then go and watch that. In that video, I'll also compare the Norwegian ration pack to the British ration pack, because that is what I ate and we eat when you actually deploy to Norway. I'll give you a quick hint, the Norway one is much better. If I was to try and eat like a bodybuilder like I do nowadays, when I was in training, I would have 100% failed. Because on a bodybuilding diet where I'm prioritizing protein and I'm lowering my calories down and just trying to maintain muscle, that is not going to help when I'm trying to replace all of the calories that I'm burning throughout the day and give me fuel to actually do the tasks that is required for me, which take a high energy output. Vice versa, if I suddenly tried to eat like a Royal Marine recruit whilst I was on bodybuilding prep, I would go massively downhill. That would not be good for my physique, because I'd be eating like 7,000 calories and I wouldn't be burning 7,000 calories, and I wouldn't be having the protein that I need to actually retain the muscle mass that I'm trying to retain. So no, Royal Marines do not eat perfectly, but they eat what they have to survive and perform. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out any other of my videos on the channel which you might like, and until next time, let's make some gains. Boom.